You are 41 years old. Your total asset architecture is a flat line. After a catastrophic corporate partnership collapse, your corporate entity was dissolved by a state court receivership. Your personal guarantees were triggered. It is 11:42 p.m. on a freezing Tuesday. You are sitting on the edge of a twin mattress on the floor of a studio apartment. The room smells like fresh paint and cheap carpet. The only light comes from the screen of a basic smartphone displaying a federal bankruptcy discharge notice. Your credit profile is a scorched earth zone. Your score is 410. You wake up at 5:30 a.m. Your heart does not race with panic anymore. It feels heavy, cold, and numb. You do not check the public indices or stock tracking apps. You check your local transit app to see when the crosstown bus arrives. The commercial banking system treats you like a toxic contaminant. You cannot open a standard checking account at a major institution. You use a prepaid debit card that charges you $2 for every ATM cash withdrawal. You look at your face in the bathroom mirror while the cold water runs. The lines around your eyes are permanent markers of the last 18 months of litigation. At your new entry-level job, you are completely invisible. You are a 41-year-old data entry clerk sitting next to 23-year-old college graduates. They talk about their weekend plans, their digital investment portfolios, and their lifestyle subscriptions. You listen in absolute silence. You do not share your history. You do not tell them you used to manage a seven-figure payroll. The retail world thinks you are a beginner. The institutional system knows you have been liquidated. You eat a processed lunch at your desk. You realize your entire productive adult life has been reset to zero, and your only remaining leverage is your time. You are 43 years old. You have escaped the immediate aftermath of liquidation. You have built a secret cash reservoir of $14,500. This cash does not live in a commercial bank account. It is split between money orders and a physical, high-security lockbox hidden inside your ventilation duct. It is a humid Thursday evening. You are standing at the service desk of a large grocery store, exchanging your weekly paycheck for physical cash. You pay a $7 fee for the cash processing. To the cashier, you look like an embanked low-wage laborer. To yourself, you are building an unassailable sovereign sandbox. You drive a 12-year-old compact car that you bought for cash from a private seller. The registration is clean, but the body is dented. You look at the sleek electric SUVs idling next to you in the suburban traffic. You know that 90% of those drivers are one missed paycheck away from your level. You aren't playing their game anymore. You are treading water, but you are doing it with your own weight. Bureau of Labor Statistics data says you are in your peak working years, but your official tax footprint is completely optimized. You work 40 hours at your day job and 30 hours on a private cleaning contract that pays you in paper currency. Your social life is a vacuum. You skip the high school reunion. You tell your family you are working on a major project, but the raw truth is your capital position cannot support a single lifestyle deviation. On your late-night walk through the neighborhood, a deep physical exhaustion hits your legs. You look at the glowing windows of the mid-tier houses. You realize that the stage of starting over is not about luxury. It is about rebuilding your kinetic energy. The shame of the bankruptcy is burned off, replaced by a cold, operational focus on capital accumulation. You are 45 years old. Your hidden cash box has grown to $54,000. You have graduated from pure survival to the gray market tracking zone. You no longer utilize traditional savings accounts to hold your momentum. It is 7:14 p.m. on a rain-slicked Friday. You are sitting in the back corner of a quiet diner, meeting with a local real estate operator named Vance. You pass him a bank money order for $30,000. You are entering a private debt syndication. You aren't listed on a public exchange. Your name is on a private operating agreement. The standard banking system still looks at your old bankruptcy filing and flags you as a risk. But the private capital market does not care about your credit score. It only cares about your liquid velocity. Vance's company needs fast cash to secure an off-market warehouse space. They cannot wait 3 weeks for a commercial bank loan approval. You fill the gap. Your money order earns you 12% structural interest, paid out in monthly paper checks. You open your mobile banking app only to pay your utility bills. You track your real wealth on a single sheet of paper kept inside a leather folder. Your lifestyle is completely unlinked from your actual revenue. You drive the same dented compact car. Your co-workers think you are struggling to make ends meet. They see you bring a paper bag lunch every day. They have no idea your private note portfolio produces $1,800 a month in automated cash flow. You watch them panic over inflation metrics and credit limits on their lunch breaks. You feel a total sense of structural insulation. The shift, you stop trying to repair your old retail identity. You start operating as an invisible private lender. You are 48 years old. Your private notes and cash flow have cleared $210,000. You have achieved complete structural recovery, but you have done it outside the traditional retail box. Your personal credit report is still damaged, but it no longer matters. You have established a private asset holding corporation in a state with strict privacy laws. The entity is your Proxy. It is 6:15 a.m. on a misty Monday morning. You are standing in a sleek downtown office lobby, holding a corporate credit card issued to your company, not your name. You have entered the elite architecture, where personal liabilities are entirely separated from capital control. To your old acquaintances, you are a mystery. You have no public social media presence, no LinkedIn updates, and no curated lifestyle posts. But your corporate proxy owns 2 cash-flowing duplexes in a secondary industrial market. The commercial tenants wire their rent directly to your corporate treasury account every month. IRS data shows your personal income is low, keeping you in a flat tax bracket, but your corporate entity holds clean, institutional velocity. You walk into a private conference room to meet your corporate attorney, Sable. You are signing documents to purchase a small, unphotogenic distribution hub. You aren't using personal loans or standard mortgages. Your corporate entity is utilizing an asset-backed line of credit secured by your existing rental revenue. You look out the glass window at the morning commuters rushing to their desks. You realize the ultimate truth of starting over in your 40s. The retail banking system is designed to trap individual employees, while the corporate architecture is built to protect sovereign capital. You are completely invisible to the machine, and your freedom is total. You are 51 years old. Your corporate proxy network holds an asset architecture valued at $1.2 million. You have officially bypassed a retail banking system that blacklisted you 10 years ago. It is 4:15 p.m. on a crisp autumn afternoon. You are sitting in the wood-paneled office of a boutique private equity fund, reviewing an off-market industrial transaction. You are not buying this asset with personal cash, and you are not signing a personal guarantee. Your corporate entity is partner funding a joint venture with institutional capital. At this tier, your past bankruptcy is an irrelevant historical footnote. The institutional fund manager, Vance, does not look at your personal consumer credit report. He analyzes your entity's debt service coverage ratio and your structural performance history. You use a highly sophisticated private placement structure to acquire distressed logistics real estate. You casually discuss capital call schedules and preferred returns with private bankers who treat your corporate proxy as a Tier 1 sovereign enterprise. You look at the heavy fountain pen in your hand and realize you are playing a game of pure structural arbitrage. Yet, your lifestyle remains completely unlinked from this velocity. You live in a quiet, unpretentious apartment. You do not wear luxury status markers or post about your transactions online. Money discussed is money diluted. You have built a structural fortress that operates entirely in the dark, completely insulated from the high-frequency economic panic of the public markets. You spend your 40s rebuilding from absolute liquid zero, only to discover that the destruction of your retail credit identity was the exact catalyst that forced you to learn the true, silent language of institutional capital. You are 54 years old. Your private holding ecosystem has graduated into a dedicated, multi-entity family office structure. Your net worth has crossed $3.8 million. It is sunset on a quiet Thursday evening. You are sitting on the outdoor terrace of a secluded coastal estate, watching the tide roll over gray rocks. Below you, the beach is completely empty. Your lifestyle is funded entirely by a rolling, non-purpose line of credit secured against your corporate equity positions, allowing you to access liquid capital without ever triggering a personal tax liability. At this level, you are completely invisible to the retail financial machine. You do not interface with commercial banking apps. You do not track personal credit scores. And you do not participate in consumer performance culture. Your wealth management team directs your liabilities behind a wall of private trusts and corporate shields, ensuring that your name never appears on a single public asset registry. You are completely insulated from the structural entrapment that breaks the middle class. Out of pure, decades-old muscle memory, you open an archived digital file on your private server. You scroll past the commercial property deeds and the private equity placements until you find a scanned PDF from 13 years ago. It is your original federal bankruptcy discharge notice, dated from when you were 41, sitting on a mattress on the floor of a cold studio apartment. You read those legal stamp marks, and you feel no lingering shame or anger. You feel absolute clarity. You realize with devastating precision that the broken 41-year-old man who lost everything was far more strategically positioned than the comfortable peers who stayed trapped on the corporate treadmill. He was forced to abandon the retail illusions of the system. He was forced to learn how to compound in absolute silence. The reset was not your ruin. It was your sovereign foundation. The horizon darkens. The vault remains closed. You are 57 years old. Your multi-entity corporate framework manages $8.4 million in assets. At this velocity, your relationship with cash undergoes its final systemic transformation. You no longer earn money. You extract it through tax-free debt facilities. It is 4:30 p.m. on a brisk Thursday afternoon. You are sitting in a private conference room on the top floor of a financial center in Zurich, reviewing an off-balance sheet liquidity contract. You aren't converting your real estate or private equity into cash. You are utilizing an institutional line of credit secured against your corporate asset base. The global banking cartels no longer view you through the lens of retail credit bureaus. They treat your private holding network as a sovereign partner. Institutional wealth data confirms that the top 1% do not sell assets to fund their lives. They borrow against them to completely bypass capital gains taxes and maintain absolute ownership velocity. You find yourself casually discussing cross-border interest rate swaps and currency hedges with a team of institutional private bankers who treat your personal history as irrelevant data. You look at the matte black fountain pen in your hand and realize you're playing a game of pure financial abstraction. Yet, the memory of the collapse remains your structural anchor. You look at the multi-million-dollar liability on the contract page and feel zero anxiety. You are once again using debt, but you are using it as an institutional weapon, not a consumer trap. You drive home in an unpretentious, high-performance vehicle, realizing the ultimate irony of starting over in your 40s. The retail bankruptcy that felt like a death sentence at 41 was actually the exact structural filter you needed to escape the consumer illusion and learn how to operate completely in the dark. You are 60 years old. You have achieved definitive, multi-generational financial sovereignty. Your life is entirely insulated from standard economic friction by a private trust enterprise. It is sunset on a quiet winter evening. You are sitting on the outdoor terrace of a stone mountain estate, watching the last rays of golden light hit the snow-capped peaks. Below you, the valley is completely silent. Your entire lifestyle is seamlessly funded by a rolling, non-purpose credit facility managed by your family office trustees. At this tier, your wealth is completely invisible to the public grid. You do not own property in your own name. You do not have personal bank accounts. And you do not interface with retail financial institutions. Your private legal team manages your holdings behind a matrix of perpetual trusts, ensuring that your wealth passes to the next generation without ever touching a probate court or a public registry. You are completely insulated from every material and structural worry known to modern human civilization. But as a mountain air chills, you open your secure digital server out of pure, decades-old muscle memory. You scroll deep into an archived historical folder, past the private equity placements and the cross-border corporate structures, until you find a digital scan of a document from 19 years ago. It is your original federal bankruptcy discharge notice, printed when you had nothing but a twin mattress and a $35 metal box. You read those faded numbers, and you feel an absolute sense of gratitude for the destruction of your youth. You realize with devastating clarity that the broken 41-year-old man who sat in that cold basement was a true architect of this mountain terrace. He was forced to abandon the retail lies of the system so you could build a fortress in the quiet. The orange horizon darkens. The vault remains silent.